We zone.
Is this live or is this Memorex? Yes, this is the reset button for December the 14th, 2014. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another edition of the reset button. My name, Tanner Cyrex Larson. With me, usual suspect, Patrick Breeden. And it's been a whirlwind of a week. So much of a whirlwind, I can't even talk right. What say you, Pat?
You can't even talk right, huh? Just it's that kind of week, is it?
It's just gibberish coming out of my mouth.
Just gibberish.
Sometimes.
Can't even control it. It is all about that Amiibogeddon, yo.
Yes, Amiibogeddon. We will get right into that in just a little bit, but we just want to remind everyone that there is a special guest coming on next week. Someone that you may know on Screw Attack, but we'll just leave it at that. But now let's get into the Amiibogeddon, as it's coined in my phrase. The Amiibocalypse is not as good, but the
No.
Amiibogeddon. The Amiibogeddon is certainly real and already happening. Earlier this week, Nintendo announced they would be discontinuing 3 models of their Amiibo lineup in order to make way for newer figurines. The Amiibos being discontinued are Marth, Wii Fit Trainer, and Villager from Animal Crossing. When asked as to why these figures were being discontinued, a Nintendo representative said, quote, "Due to shelf space constraints, other figures will likely not return to the market once they have shipped and sold through their original shipment. More popular figurines such as Mario and Pikachu will be still made available to the masses. Newer amiibos will include Luigi, Zelda, Little Mac, Diddy Kong, Pit, and Captain Falcon, which are available now. And honestly, I think this Amiibogeddon has really shown, especially on eBay, where you can see like Villager, Marth, and Wii Fit Trainer as high as $30 or $50, I should say. Like, this is absolutely ludicrous. As far as prices go, I don't know if it's so ludicrous to say like these should be discontinued because they're not really selling that well, but maybe now would be the make a good case to say like we should probably continue this.
Of course you should continue it. I mean, yeah, they're not the top 3 selling ones. We know right now the top selling Amiibo is Link. Likely because, Link goes with Hyrule Warriors, so why wouldn't Link be the top selling Amiibo? But to discontinue those is just, it's silly. It doesn't make any sense. And all it's doing is making it really difficult for people who want to collect all the Amiibo to collect all the Amiibo. Good luck. You can't do it. Not right now.
Not right now. I've seen... Stevro says he's seen Villager figurines go for $70 on eBay.
Yeah, that's normal.
$70! Are they unopened?
Yeah.
I don't know if that should really make a difference or not.
Yeah, they're unopened. Whenever you get a Villager Amiibo, it's still in the package and completely brand new. So it's really expensive to get any of what they call the Holy Trinity, is what they're being called right now in Amiibogeddon. So
How long have Amiibos been out? Even like a month? 2 months?
They came out the same time Smash did for Wii U. So they haven't even been out a month yet.
Why are they discontinuing them so early?
Yeah, they haven't even been out a month yet. Mainly the problem here is I don't think Nintendo expected Amiibo to be this big. So the shipments they sent out are already gone. And I encourage you, if you want to shop online for Wave 2 that just recently came out, or is supposed to recently come out, but some reports have said they're already hitting retail stores, good luck finding them online. You're not going to find Wave 2. You might find Wave 2 in stores if you're lucky, but if you want to shop online, you're out of luck there too.
He says that Wave 2 Amiibos are already getting rare, and I don't know how that was possible. Like, did Nintendo not do their research on Skylanders or Disney Infinity? I mean, these things sell pretty darn well.
I don't want to accuse Nintendo of anything, but they kind of have a history of purposely limiting their stock of their products. I still don't know why they do that, but they have a pretty decent history of limiting their stock. But when it comes to Amiibo, you can buy multiple Amiibos. You can't buy multiple consoles.
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense to me as to why they didn't, stack Amiibo to the ceiling, knowing that we would get it. I would take every Amiibo I could get my hands on. And it's even gotten to the point where pre-orders online are getting completely sold out. Even in the UK, I reported a few days ago that some Amiibo from Wave 4 are being sold out on the Nintendo UK store.
Wow.
This is out of control.
Wow. The Amiibogeddon is certainly real. Like, it's more real than I thought it was ever.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna see a lot of Marios. You're gonna see a lot of Pikachu's, Links. Fox is starting to get a little bit rare, I see. But Stevero again says that Diddy Kong and Little Mac are already gone everywhere.
Yeah.
Gone.
You
Absolutely,
cannot get a Diddy Kong or a Little Mac right now.
How? I just want to like question Nintendo. Like, how many did you actually have lined up for this? Did you expect this to like get huge or like get a massive amount of like buys? Because I certainly saw it as a very popular figure. I saw it as a very popular thing for Smash players, for Hyrule Warrior players, for Mario Kart 8 players. And that's not a small amount of people. That's almost 90%, I want to say, of Wii U owners.
Yeah, I don't get what they were thinking with that, because when you have something like Amiibo, all of the figures are going to work with Smash for Wii U. A lot of people bought Wii U for Smash. A lot of people already have Wii U for Smash. And why do you not want to get as many Amiibo as possible? Especially, Little Mac is arguably the most popular character going into Smash for Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
It was Mega Man, then Little Mac came along and really, changed things up. People are going to want Little Mac. I guarantee it. And then Diddy Kong, top 10. So, of course people are going to want him.
Yes. So, now the question is, these can't be gone forever. Do they have to bring them back at a certain point? If I feel like they should.
At first they
so
tiptoed around it and they were like, oh well, the less popular characters are likely not to return. And then like this really kept heating up and just getting out of control, and now they softened the language with that. They're massaging it a bit. And they're not flat out saying, they're not coming back. They'll never be back. Now they're saying, they're less likely to return. Less likely is the language they're using now. Okay. Are they going to make a return? I would say they almost have to. If you're an investor, if you're an investor at Nintendo, and Nintendo's saying, we don't want to run those guys. We want to make sure the shelves are stocked with Mario. You're going to want to burn the building down. Seriously? People will line up around the block to give you $12.99 for a Little Mac right now. And you're going to tell them no? You're insane.
That is very, very insane. And to think that this whole thing was just going to be blown out of proportion. I don't know. It's one of those things where I just kind of scratch my head and go like, are you kidding me? You run out of stock everywhere. How is this possible? And now we know why. It's kind of possible, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, as a fan, you're just you're frustrated, and you just want the thing that you want like so much. And why these are such a collector's item so early on is dumbfounding.
Well, I mean, they're fun. Let's just get out of the way. Amiibo are fun little figurines. They're great. They look great on your desk. They look great on the shelf. They look great wherever you want to put them. And then you have the idea that they can come into Smash for Wii U as figure players. So, that gives you extra incentive for Amiibo. Then any Amiibo can be scanned into Hyrule Warriors. Doesn't mean that they're going to do much in-game, but they'll give you some sort of prize every day. You can just scan them in, get your prize.
Yep.
Then Amiibo are also able to go into Mario Kart 8, unlock special skins for your Mii player. So they are multifunctional. Of course that people are going to want something that's multifunctional. Skylanders only works with Skylanders, and then that's it. They don't do anything else. Amiibo works with several different games, so it makes sense to collect as many Amiibo as possible.
Exactly. And it's like Stev said in the chat, they've never really understood the concept of supply and demand. This is like the situation with Wii when it came out for about a year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that, but I wasn't really trying to get a Wii at the time, so I was late to the party on that one. But I'm feeling the crunch right now, especially since I was doing Sunday Smash until it finally closed last weekend, and I thought I have to get Amiibo. I have to talk about them. I'm pretty much obligated to talk about Amiibo, am I not? So I went out there, I grabbed my two, and now they're Curbster and Boshi, so I've got them. And I was like, well, Zelda's a top-tier character. I'd really like to get the Zelda Amiibo. And that blew up in my face pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
So there's no chance of getting it now. And yeah, I feel the pain of everybody that really wanted a Wii at that time, and they can't have it. It's so frustrating to want something, because I wanted pretty much half of Wave 2, and I can't have them. Any of them.
It's frustrating, but you know what? Sometime in 2015, they have to be able to catch up with the supply and demand. They have to. It's almost inevitable. But
You would hope.
I would hope so. But Stev brings up a good point. Like I said in the chat, it took them about a year and a half to really catch up with the Wii supply and demand, which is mind-boggling because you can find them anywhere now.
Oh yeah.
But I think. Let's move on to our second out of three stories here. Earlier this year, Microsoft announced that the Rise of Tomb Raider would be a timed Xbox One exclusive. Sony retorted at the Sony experience with a little deal of their own. Capcom is bringing Street Fighter V exclusively to PC and PS4. Unlike the last deal mentioned, this is the deal that's not exactly timed, meaning Xbox One fans hoping that they'll get Street Fighter V anytime soon will have to look elsewhere. In light of this news, Xbox executive Phil Spencer tried to calm the storm that he had received through Twitter, but his best can only do so much. Spencer told fans, quote, "I'd love it if Xbox fans could play all the games, but sometimes business deals happen. It's all a part of competition. I'll work on making amends for Street Fighter V," close quote. Now, Pat, that is huge when he has to say he has to make amends. Like, that is... They're still feeling the wave of damage control over at Xbox, where companies now are saying, we don't want to be on board with your product. We'll go to the competition exclusively. How big... I don't even want to say how... Like, I don't want to even bring up the cliche question of how big of an impact is this for Xbox, because we know
you already
how big
know.
of an issue this is. But will this be an exclusive for PS4, and for how long?
Yeah, there's no need to ask that other question. You know how damaging it is. It's ridiculous.
Bad.
Oh yeah, it's bad. First, I want to do a quick correction. It was the PlayStation experience, not Sony experience.
Oh, okay. PlayStation experience.
Yes,
My fault.
It was the PlayStation experience. And, they came out there. I can't remember the name of the representative from Capcom who was there, but it was definitely planned. That leak, the mistake of Street Fighter V on YouTube, that wasn't a mistake. That was not a mistake. They wanted you to watch all the upcoming awards to find out which one was going to have Street Fighter V. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been in the States. It's that simple. So that wasn't a mistake, first and foremost. And the other thing that wasn't a mistake is PlayStation 4 exclusive for Street Fighter V. That was a shot heard around the world, is what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we go around and, we start rallying around PlayStation being like, oh yeah, they totally punched Xbox in the face with that. And it's the same thing everybody else has been saying. It's the same thing our buddy Smoke in the chat saying right now. They didn't say all of Street Fighter V. They said
Right.
Street Fighter 5. So
But
when you
that's the
get
one that
in,
matters now. That's the one that matters now.
that is
Like,
true.
who's to say that Super Street Fighter 5 won't be an exclusive to PlayStation 4 as well?
Yeah, you could argue
Still
that, but
have
I
to
don't
make-
see it happening.
You still have to make amends, though, as, you know,
Well, yeah, of
Xbox
course.
needs to do.
Yeah, you've got probably a year and a half, 2 years of no Street Fighter for your Xbox crowd. So yeah, that's gonna hurt, especially since you've got the cross-platform thing where PC and PS4 can play against
That's
one another.
huge.
So you know the community's never gonna die on either platform because they're entangled. It's not going to die. It's always going to be thriving, which is another huge thing. Xbox is left out in the dust. And yeah, that's got to hurt. Phil Spencer is definitely in backpedal mode, trying to, calm the masses and saying, I'm going to make up for it, guys. I'm going to make up for it, guys. And you know what I keep hearing every time he says, I'm going to make up for it? The response from people? They say, that's great. Give us Conquer. Give us Banjo-Kazooie. We're tired of waiting. Give it to us.
Oh,
And
boy.
this is the guy that says he has to make amends. He has to make up for it. What choice does he have?
I mean, I keep saying this over and over. It's not Spencer's fault. It was the guy before him. I forget his name.
It's Don
It was
Matrick.
Don Matrick, that's right. It was Don Matrick's fault for creating that Xbox brand to the joke that it is now. And Spencer, bless him, like, he's doing all he can to save that brand. And he's doing his darn best. And I commend him for it. But I think, I don't want to say it's too little too late. But with Street Fighter V being a PlayStation 4 exclusive, a third-party exclusive nonetheless,
Yes.
it's one of those things where, as an Xbox fan, you're hurt. And you need some kind of reparation. So maybe he has to talk to Rare and say, make a game. Make a game. Or do something with Killer Instinct, do this, do that, try and make some kind of exclusive to, like, get the safety net in.
Killer Instinct's not going to fix this.
I don't think so.
No, I can guarantee you it's not, because it's already there. There's not too much you can do with Killer Instinct that's not already being done that could make up for this. And, I mean, you could even argue that, you know what, it's business. He doesn't have to do anything. But the point is, he already said he had to. So, now everybody's going to
Because
expect it.
Capcom fired the shot.
Yeah, now everybody's going to expect it. He said he has to do it, and now everybody's sitting at the sideline going, well, you said you have to do it. What do you got? So what needs to happen here is third-party exclusives. Sometimes, they're wonderful. Sometimes they're just a complete pile of junk. So how do you counter a third-party exclusive? First-party exclusive. So he has to do something like Banjo-Kazooie, something like that. And that's what people want. They've been wanting it. Ever since that Conquer tease, people have been enraged. So why let people be enraged? Give them what they want.
So yeah, that's the damage control he has to kind of make up for. Is he has to either get a third-party exclusive, which is a lot harder than it sounds, or do the easier route, make a first-party exclusive that everybody wants. And I think that's something, that has to be created by Rare. And it has to be good. It doesn't have to be stellar or amazing. It just has to be good. Like I said with Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct, we haven't seen one in quite some time. It doesn't have to be outstanding, or it doesn't have to be mind-blowing. It just
Right.
has to be good.
Mhm.
And that's what it was. It was good.
Yeah.
And that's what the people wanted. So I think right now, it's a show me situation. Like, show me, what do you got? What do you got on the plate for this response? And we don't want to say it's a console war, but I mean, every year it's a console war. It's definitely a console war between Sony and Microsoft, and now Nintendo's in the mix with like this huge lineup of games that they already have slated for 2014, and then they're slating for 2015 right now.
Yeah.
So it's, man, it's Microsoft. They're in the hot seat. I'll tell you what.
It's gonna be, warlike, no matter how you slice it. It's publicly traded companies competing against publicly traded companies. All are fueled by other people's money, and people expect results, so you're gonna get this situation, whether you want it or not. And I know a lot of people have been getting a little miffed with me with Screw Attack social media because, I put up the thing about, Spencer and Microsoft doing victory laps because Xbox One was the number one selling console in November. Doesn't mean I agree with the statements, I'm just reporting it. Truth be told, I think going for a lap when you've got, 1 month under your belt after many, many months of not doing so hot is ridiculous.
It's very premature.
Let's talk about Xbox One when it comes to that, because the numbers have come out thanks to a marketing firm and marketing research firm, rather, and we know exactly what's going on. In terms of the top 10 selling games of November, Halo, the Master Chief Collection, bottom of the barrel of the top 10 selling games.
Ooh.
Sunset Overdrive, not on the list.
Ooh.
This is
so
bad.
terrible because it's such a good game.
So in terms of that, those were supposed to be, the big knockout games that they were going to come swinging with in terms of like the holiday season, along with, aggressively marketing by cutting prices and everything. That was supposed to be their knockout 1-2 punch. Didn't do so hot.
Yeah. And like somebody said in the chat, Spencer has always talked about, bringing back rare IPs. Well, now's the time. Walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk.
Absolutely. Well, the good news when it comes to this is, the one company is able to shine and steal the show, while Sony not really bringing a lot of, exclusive games to make you go, OMG, PS4 must have. And Microsoft brought the games, but apparently not too many people are worried about them because Master Chief Collection is broken, and Sunset Overdrive, even while bundled, is not in the top 10 best-selling games. That leaves Nintendo to take it all.
Yeah, that leaves Nintendo to either take first or second, because they're not third anymore. They're not even in third by a lot. So Microsoft, they need to do something here, and they need to do something really fast.
Besides just slashing prices and then celebrating a price slash? Yeah.
That's not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. I mean, you could do that. It might help, but it's just like putting a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound. It's
helped.
barely helping.
It helped. It helped because it helped them capture November. But, as far as we're aware, the price drop that they've been doing is going to be a time thing. It's not going to last. Along with that, you also have to consider another big hit they did just a few days ago, which might help them capture December, but I'm not holding my breath. They're doing 12 days of deals. A few days ago, they actually had a deal where you can get a select Xbox One bundle for $350, the price they're going with right now. Along with all the games in the bundle, you can get a free game of your choice with it. So that was a huge, huge thing. But it only lasted one day, and I have no idea how many people bought Xbox Ones that day. So that seemed like the last hurrah until 2015 for them.
Yeah, it's kind of a sour note to end on for, 2014 for Microsoft, but they got a year to make it up. And let's see what happens in 2015. That's all I'll say.
Walk the walk, Spencer. Let's see it.
And we end the reset button this week with a bit of a downer ending as Ralph H. Baer, the inventor of the first home video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey, passed away at the age of 92 on December 7th. Baer did not invent video games, but his impact on the medium is immeasurable. His invention, the Magnavox Odyssey, and its prototype, the Brown Box, brought video games into the home, setting a standard for interactive entertainment on your television. Baer also created the first light gun game called Shooting Gallery, a technology that would be used by video games well into the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox eras. Baer also created the Simon Light and music pattern toy. That was on the he was on the board of directors for the Video Game History Museum, and he also received the National Medal of Technology from President George W. Bush in 2006. Baer was still working on his craft as recently as 2012. So this is it hurts the medium. It hurts the medium really well. It's one of those things where you just kind of look back on a man's lifetime of achievement and definitely 40, 50 years in the industry, being there from the absolute get-go, that's saying something for a man.
You know, we were actually talking about this before we went live, and yeah, the guy is just not self-proclaimed, but other people proclaim him to be the father of video games. And I had the extreme pleasure when I first started going to Marshall University when Video Games Live came through in the very beginning of 2011. Got the pleasure to see him. Well, not live. He wasn't there. Of course, he was at his home, I believe, in New Hampshire.
Yes.
Yes, New Hampshire. It was an impromptu, out of nowhere call to him to just do an interview on the spot. And it was just the craziest thing, because it's like, I can't believe we're like talking to him right now, and Tommy Tallarico is conducting an interview, and this is strange. But it was really cool. A little strange because he said he didn't pay much attention at all to like modern day video games, but he said he found them fascinating. Fascinating how, we'll never know. I mean, maybe he saw GTA 5 and was like, here we go. That's the stuff.
But you know, it's for his age, it definitely is fascinating because he's seen the start and then to where we are now. And that is absolutely fascinating to how much this medium has evolved in such a short amount of time. It took film, the last invention or like major breakthrough in film, I want to say was, THX back in the 1970s. So outside of that, I mean, yes, we've had HD, we've had 3D, but that's also been implemented in television as well, and not just film. So, and that's been all across all mediums too. So, to say that, video games have achieved a lot as opposed to the other medium predecessors, it's extraordinary. And Bear was there in the forefront, not just in video games, but as well as, toys as well, like with the Simon.
Simon, yes. We were talking about that beforehand too, because that thing is just, it's still awesome. Mm-hmm. It's still awesome. For the younger crowd that's never touched or seen a Simon, I don't know how to talk to you. I don't understand your existence, so you'll have to help me out there. But one interesting thing I said that I was telling you before it started here, I was comparing Five Nights at Freddy's to Simon. Because you have, just like Simon, 4 different actions you can take in a pattern. So I found that interesting. That, even something as simple as Simon can be turned into something like, I'm not going to say it's exactly like Simon, but Five Nights at Freddy's definitely has the pattern thing going on. Yeah. And people go insane for it. They are insane. Go look on YouTube and you would just be blown away at how many like fan stories and songs and fan art and just everything everywhere for a game that has such simple gameplay. Mm-hmm. So simple.
It's also one of those things with like, the Magnavox Odyssey. It's like, oh, we wouldn't have ColecoVision or we wouldn't have Intellivision or anything like that if it wasn't for the Magnavox Odyssey. And I think that's true. So Bear inventing the Magnavox Odyssey really broke through for video games in one way or another. I mean, there was arcades, yes, but it was one of those things where it's just like, this is going to change people's lives forever. It's going to change the world. And it did. And another thing was Shooting Gallery. Shooting Gallery paved the way for games like Duck Hunt, Hogan's Alley, etc., and so forth. He did a lot. He did a lot early on and still continued on until 2012. And to have a career that long in this industry is astounding.
The guy was absolutely a visionary of what he did with Magnavox Odyssey. And just the idea of, here's this wooden box. We're going to play a game called Ping Pong on it, and that's what we're going to do. And if anybody ever questions, just how innovative, how inspirational that device was, go look up. the Magnavox, of course. Magnavox versus Atari. Go look that up. And you can just see how two companies went to war over an idea like that and how it just started blossoming.
And that was basically the first console war, was the Magnavox versus the Atari.
Absolutely.
And that would be interesting to see nowadays. Like, just plop those two down in front of like 10,000 people and see which ones they would prefer over the other. I think that would be an interesting kind of deal, but I think I know the result of that as well. But you never know. You never know. People can surprise you from time to time, just like he surprised many people when he invented the Magnavox Odyssey and Simon.
Maybe we could see that at SGC, right, boss? If you're watching this, Greg, you can make it happen. Do it. Maybe,
definitely. So I think we'll end on that note. A little bit of a downer note to end on, but, it's not, mourning the loss of man, but it's celebrating his life's achievement. So I think we'll end it on that note. This has been the Reset Button for December 14th, 2014. My name is Tanner Larson.
And I am Patrick the Baser Breed.
We'll see you guys next week with our special guest right here on the Reset Button. You take care.
And you'll never know who he is.
Until next week.
Yeah, then.